Hello, hello. Just getting with us, joining us again here. If you want to join with us, just hold on with us in one moment. We shall get ourselves going. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, my name is Mark Buzan. You're here for our weekly, or sorry, I should say our daily broadcast. This has been turning out as of lately. Those of you who are new to us, to this broadcast, never seen me before, my name is Mark Buzan. I am the founder of the Society of NonProfit Board Directors. I am also the founder of our Executive Director Association Management Services, which offers a variety of different nonprofit consulting services, as well as full management services to trade and professional associations and nonprofits alike. Personal side about me, I'm a husband, I'm a father to a wonderful little 5-year-old named Simon. He's a great little guy. My background as well is as I'm a 2-time executive director and national president to 2 national trade professional associations, as well as been a board director on multiple times throughout my career, my life as well. I'm joining you today, or you're joining me here from today, from the co-working space of which we work here, is housed here in beautiful Gatineau, Quebec, in the National Capital Region of Canada, just a 20-minute drive down the road towards Ottawa on Parliament Hill as well. Talking today about the next subject as well, because I'm constantly always having people coming to me and talking about the money. How do we finance the desires of getting the mission forward for the organization? So if you're interested in learning more about this, please let us know by leaving your little hashtag down in the comments below either of this. Again, we're streaming this live here from Facebook, from Periscope, from YouTube, and made it a little bit of an announcement. I was reaching out towards us on Snapchat as well, so we're trying that initiative, and later on be going out towards on LinkedIn as well. So the best way, if you want to interact with me, though, the technology really hasn't kept up with the desires of what we want to do here. There is a link down below where you can join in on the conversation and chat, and I'm happy to interact with you by clicking on the link for Zoom down below. Okay, so let's just want to cover off a little bit of housekeeping issues. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get this going. I'm going to hold on one moment for housekeeping purposes. We're going to get this this broadcast recorded as well for later. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we are. Okay, folks, if you're joining me again for this new, again, we're broadcasting, as I mentioned earlier, on Periscope, on YouTube, on Facebook through the Society of Nonprofit Board Directors page, and later, hopefully time permitting, we'll be able to get a message out onto my crowd, my peeps, I guess, on LinkedIn as well. Today's subject is very much about what I would call the newest and best kept secret in raising funds, driving recruitment there for members, for volunteers as well, for your nonprofit or your association as well. And it's all done without blowing a huge ad budget as well. I should note about this. It's done online. Now, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people hear about the fact that you can do this kind of stuff online and you can do great things, but what does this mean? It seems a bit of a nebulous concept, hard to grasp, love to get about it, but how do you do this? So I've been struggling this, and I'm with you in many ways. I'm always looking for ways that not-for-profit organizations, associations can up their game in one form or another to, as I like to call, hack their fundraising and their revenue generation and their membership efforts as well. So if you're interested in on this, okay, if you're like this subject, you want to learn a little bit more about what I've been finding in this journey, and I'd love for you to join with me in this journey as well. Leave a little hashtag saying live in the comments, saying, show me the money. So I guess that's becoming sort of now lately, the hashtag is hashtag it, show me the money. If you're watching this as the replay as well, hashtag it replay. And if people are interested in this, I can share the comments. I'd love to interact with you and give you as well a document that I've been referencing. We're going to be referencing very soon on this, where I've been finding along. So if you're interested in that, above all, hashtag it. And from what I understand, Facebook loves the hearts more than the likes. So please heart this. It helps get the message out for improving the effectiveness of nonprofits everywhere. And that's largely what we're all about, isn't it? So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, again, when it comes to fundraising, is that most people have this concept of what fundraising is all about. It's about galas, it's about holding events, grants in some ways. No, I think I've made my pitch for a while yet about I'm not a big fan of them personally, but that's a whole other subject. You guys, if you're interested in that, there's plenty of videos on that I've done on my reasonings for that. There's a new way that many nonprofits, really excellent ones, are finding ways to hack their growth exponentially, and they're doing it online. They're experimenting. Now, somebody I work with and respect enormously had sent me a resource called "You Suddenly Lose Everything: 30 Days. What would it do to go from day 1 to day 30 in your nonprofit? How could you bootstrap a fundraising or initiative online?" So for today's purposes, I'm going to tell you right now, because it's just too much to cover and the span of one thing. I'm going to go over week 1 for you. So if you're interested in this, heart this, like this, share this, get the message out, leave a comment. Love to interact with you. If you want to have a copy of the book as well, of this resource, let me know, and happy to get that out to you. Message me as well, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is that for many of you, regardless of the type of organization you're with, in my book of things, there are, of course, there's the under umbrella of different types of nonprofits, but there's 3 basic types of them. The first one is the compassionate type of nonprofit organization. They're all about helping and caring for the vulnerable. The second thing I'm going to be talking, you often will come about, is the change type of nonprofit. They're very much about creating justice or making awareness of changing the system. And the third part of this is a cultural type of organization. They're all about ID-based, and I categorize this. These are very broad terms. I categorize them anything from a club, a social group, maybe even a trade association as well. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Is that because regardless of the category that you find yourself in, I do believe that much of what I've been reading here is really applicable to regardless of these situations. And let me explain. Starting with day 1, if you were to have to start off with nothing and wanted to go online and build your campaigns, I would do the following and recommend you do the following. 1, take some time to write down everything about why people care about your organization. Why should people care about your organization as well? Nothing is off the books. Put it down in a Google document. Save that for reference. Just brain dump. Take a few hours to brain dump, okay, and put this in there. The next thing after that is you're going to want to go out and study these terms and these ideas on Google and find out your top 10 search results as well. And ask and write down the questions that come about this. Try to ask it informed answer questions. Okay, the reason for this is that this is the kinds of things that you're going to be wanting to know. What do people search for as it relates to your cause, your interest, or what motivates them to the passion or the cause, like this. You may be thinking it's one thing, but you'd be amazed at what other people are actually searching for online. So this is where this is very helpful. You're going to take as well that first day to schedule some interviews with board members if you're a staff member. If you're a board member as well, talk to some of your fellow colleagues, talk to donors, talk to stakeholders, talk to funding organizations, and get their opinions on this feedback that you've been finding about these ideas that you've come up with, that you brainstormed, and that you've further searched on Google as well. And record their answers as well as detailed as possible throughout the same document that I mentioned, okay? That's day 1. Day two, you're gonna need to hold a meeting at this point in time, either with your staff or with your board or a critical internal group as well. And you're gonna be discussing 5 essential items. 1, you want to establish what do you think, given the fact that, particularly if you've never done this online, set some audacious goals, but something that people can really genuinely believe in. How much do you really want to raise online? What is going to be your goal online? Second, pick a platform, a social platform. There's lots of social platforms out, like I mentioned, Snapchat, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. My personal favorites are LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn a lot, as well as Facebook as well. Okay, depending on where you think that you're going to find your key audience of donors, members, etc. All right. Third, take some of these messages there and just through your own contacts as well, do a little bit of some message resonating, and you can testing. You can do this by posting out, thoughts on groups, on Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, your LinkedIn status updates, your social media platforms. See which ones get the most impact and result for. This is going to tell you, these are the things that maybe that resonate with most people, and that we can build a message there. Fourth, you want to go about creating and in this meeting, a fundraising offer, okay? And this message, back up there, the message resonancing is you're gonna be wanting to do that online, but you also wanna test that amongst the group as to what they think. Fourth, you'll want to create in that meeting a fundraising offer, all right? Or some kind of a catch or reason for this. Now, people sometimes think that it has to be directly related to their cause, their organization, whatever that may be. But I've seen some very successful campaigns wherein, for example, they had the donation of an entrepreneur, an experience or whatever that may be, and that donation was then recognized as a thank you, but then it was raffled off in some form or another as well. Whatever that may be, come up with a great fundraising offer that you can give away in exchange for someone contributing and supporting the cause, the organization, whatever that may be. And then from there, as I mentioned as well, doing a test out to raise some seed money. So whether you have an email list of some form or another, a select group, particularly maybe your more conscientious or regular donors, supporters, however that may be, get their feedback. See what the nibbles are on this. Again, you're going to be having several of these types of messages like this, so don't put all your eggs into one basket. You're going to want to try to do a little bit of trial ballooning and see which ones are the most effective at this. Okay, that's day 2 of this. Day 3, you'll want to set goals and check-in times as well for the team to see how it's going as well. For example, you may want to set some goals along the lines of, 10 monthly donors at $50 a month. Or you may want to, in addition to that, let's say I have 100 individual donors who each give $50. Now, at the end of a month, that equals out to roughly around $5,500. Not bad if you manage to do this as well. You'll need to set off as well that it's ideal. You don't have to, but I do recommend that you have some at least online advertising budget to be able to do this. You don't have to, but if you were to do that and your other kinds of expenses that are related to it, running a campaign, I would set it at around a maximum around $500 because I understand nonprofits being what they are, they're more conservative and want to make certain that their risks are mitigated. So keep it at a reasonable amount. I suggest 500 is a reasonable amount. Day four throughout all of this as well is going to be a point where you're starting to post. Okay, you're going to be doing live videos, much like this one here as well. You as the individual person leading up the organization should be doing this. I would fully encourage you get a number of few people as well doing the same thing on behalf of the organization. Come up with about 4 categories of different posts in there. And with the 4 categories of subjects under verticals, what you're going to be talking about is first asking and calling out for help or seeking opinions from people. You may be having another that's going to call for action, do a call for action. You're going to have another part that may be just a question of sharing some good resources that you've seen out as well. And then a 4th type as well is really looking for a dialogue and engagement factor. Your point of all of this throughout this thing is to elicit and discuss and engage with people so they become part of your ecosystem. And there, later down the line, you can encourage them towards an action. Share moments of impact. Make it rich in detail as well, okay? Why people cared. What was the impact of that your organization had on their profession, on their lives, their personal life, whatever that may be. And on day 5, you're gonna go into Facebook, and under the Ads Manager section of that, you can find video views, and you can create an audience according to what video views are there. You can set up a Facebook page for your organization if you don't already have one, and if possible as well, go through something like called ManyChat.com, which is a free resource as well. Can set up a chat bot as well for your page, which allows people to be able to be engaged immediately when they visit your page and something like this. At that point, take the week off. You've accomplished a lot. I mean, I've rushed through a lot of this. I'll tell you right now, but there's a lot to be covered off. But take the weekend off. So I mentioned there's only so much frankly I can cover off in the span of a one whole broadcast. There's a lot more. I've covered off the first 5 days. There's another 25 to go. If you're interested in learning more about this resource, message me directly. I'd love to have a conversation, learn more about your organization, what you're up to, what your fundraising goals are, what your membership drive goals are, what your revenue goals are, and your biggest challenges as well. And why do you find nonprofit involvement so interesting? So there, and I'd be happy to send over a copy. Sure, anytime. Let me know and have a look at it. We're in this together, and well, above all, thank you very much for engaging, and look forward to your further participation. Folks, again, have a great day.